Hey, bro, you ever watch Pinks?
No, but it sounds inappropriate.
No, it's a drag racing show where they race each other for pink slips, like ownership of the other guy's car.
Yeah, that sounds like a Philly thing.
It's not a Philly thing.
Is it recorded in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, but
Close enough, right?
that's not the point. They would do this thing where after one race, they would negotiate a handicap for the better race car, basically, right? Make the race more even.
Are you actually asking for a handicap?
Yes.
Have you no shame?
I don't know if you know this, but my fans are currently wearing bags over their head. So no, I do not.
It's a good point. What are your terms?
You sit two defensemen.
Deal.
No, we're supposed to negotiate now, back and forth.
Make it 3 defenders.
You just made your handicap bigger.
Bro, I think I could sit 12 and still beat you.
Fine. Sit Rask.
No. Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team, that is a dub! Again! 7 out of 8 dubs! 2 U's, 2 K's, 2 points, dub! And the youngsters got into this game. This was a game that I think a lot of us could have forgiven the team, not that they need forgiveness, but you know what I mean, for losing. This is a game a lot of us could have gone, well, half the defense is AHL guys. We're playing a lot of games in a row. We're probably trying to just get to that 2-day break we have coming up Sunday, Monday. We still have a game Saturday before then. The boys are probably tired. Instead, we jump out to an early lead. We clearly struggle to get going after that. And we just grit it out. Tuukka makes some huge saves. Been a while since I've said that, huh? Whew! Makes some absolute beautiful saves. We got a couple lucky bounces that helped keep his night clean. And the defense, did enough, I'd say. I think they did enough. Are we the best version of ourselves right now? No. No, that was pretty clear in some moments. But I feel pretty good. And I want to give credit to the Flyers for... they're not a terrible team. Technically, they're above 500 in their last 10, 4-3-3. I don't understand how people do this, the tie thing at all, but tie, overtime loss. What am I saying? But they're not a good team. They're bottom third in the league in virtually every statistic, and you really feel like this could have been a shit stomping, and it almost was, and it got flipped on its head because we can't stop taking fucking penalties. But it was a really good game. It was a gutsy finish. We had to grind it out. We would have loved some separation, but you can't have that every game. We've been winning games big against good teams. It's hockey. We're going to have close games. Eventually, at some point in the season, we're going to get blown out again. It happens. The Carolina Hurricanes just lost 6-0. I think it was 6-0 to the fucking Blue Jackets. Losses are going to come, but not tonight. Because Tuukka Rask is in net. That's right. He is finally back at his first game of the season. First game since the hip surgery. And I thought he looked pretty good. I don't think he looked like himself fully yet, but I thought he looked pretty good. Unfortunately, our defense looks like this. That is Vakanainen on the top pair. That is Sean, who just got called up, and Lewington, Tyler Lewington. If you didn't know him, you probably didn't watch any of the preseason videos. He is a big boy who likes to fight. His skating has improved, which to some of you might surprise you because you watched that game and went, man, there are really some moments he's behind. His skating looks a lot better than what I saw in the preseason. Good for him. Good for them getting in the game. There was clearly some moments that they just couldn't handle it. Grizz goes into COVID protocol, to join Forbort in Clifton. Bummer there. I really thought that he was kind of having a couple good games in a row. Obviously, the 5-pointer. But we're going to live with that. Forward lines will remain the same. Bergeron, named to the All-Star game. That's great. Does he deserve it? Probably not. Not this year. And that's okay, because he always deserved it, because we love him, because it's Patrice Bergeron. But Marchand, not only is he not the first one to be put in from our team, but he's not in the last man in category either. He will not represent the Bruins at the All-Star game outside of some sort of injury, which, pray to God, does not happen, because the two options for the Bruins right now are Bergeron and McAvoy. Do you think it's his reputation? Because I would guess yes. Because you could argue that he's the hottest player in the NHL right now. I remember one of you actually said that after the last video. You could argue that he's the most important player to our team. I think that's a good argument too. It's really weird that he got excluded, especially because if you're at the NHL, you want your drawing the eyes guys to be in that game, and that's Marchand. Fans love to cheer and boo him. That's a huge part of it. Why would you not have him in? Weird? Maybe it's because he shit all over you about the Olympics. Maybe that's it. Do you think that could be it? Maybe it's because he was also pretty critical of the COVID protocols. Do you think that's it? Do you think it's because he's shitting all over the league and also beating everybody in the league? Little ball of hate. He doesn't give a shit. Trust me. He's looking at you like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna win the cup this year. I don't give a shit about an All-Star game. Conn Smythe, baby. Also, I'm gonna say this now. Back-to-back hat tricks. Unbelievable. And it's almost like I forgot. We're going through the third period, and a lot's going on, and we're not doing a lot with the puck. And it's like I forgot that Pasta had a hat trick in this one. Because I got so nervous. I'm like, no, usually when we get a hat trick, I feel great about the game. I was so nervous the whole third period. Puck drops, and 2 minutes into the game, you like, comment, subscribe. Nailed it. Snuck that in there. 2 minutes into the game. And it's a bad bounce for the Flyers. It's a pass that was supposed to go off of the corner wall and back up to a Flyers defender, but it bounces too far in front of him. Hall is right there on the left circle to collect. He drops it for Haula, who has Pastrnak coming through the middle. Has a defender on him. But when he receives that puck, he gets it off at the right angle quick enough and beats Hot. Low blocker side. It's a beauty of a shot. 2 minutes in. It's not a gift goal because you still have to hit this shot. And there's not a lot of guys who would have been able to hit that quickly on this team. 1-0, well-deserved lead. Off a good bounce for us. I'm going to take those. I'm going to take those. 4 minutes in. It's a big hit on Bleed, but more so, Sealer kind of grabs him and flips him back. It's weird. The call was holding, so we get the power play. The fucking announcers. These are knowledgeable people. I don't want to shit on them. They're knowledgeable people, and they have good moments. But they're talking about how, I think Grizz sold that one. Literally wrapped him up, pulled him down. I think Grizz sold that one. What are you watching? I'm biased. I don't know. I guess I'm just biased. But we actually score on a power play, which is bizarre. Marchand's coming down the left side of the slot. And this is after a couple clearances by the Flyers, by the way. He's coming down the left side of the slot, and he sells shot the whole way. Even as a little leg lift, bing, and whips this across to Pasta, who has an open net, buries it underneath the fucking bottle, man. Just, such a good shot. 2-0, Pasta's 2 goals, 6 minutes into the game. And you knew, I was sitting there like, yeah, this is going to be a hattie. There's no way, right? And I was right, because I'm so fucking smart. I almost forgot, but fuck the camera angle. It's one thing to have this camera angle in the neutral zone when you're high up and you're staring down and you're as far back as they let you be. If you're in the neutral zone, you want to see the whole ice develop, great. Coming out of the defensive zone for us, great. While on a power play, get me in the action, man. What are we doing? Let me get up close. They did a couple things in this game. We're going to get there. They did a couple things in this game where they were interesting and different. Fuck you. One of them worked. We'll get there. 20 seconds after that goal, Coyle gets high-sticked. Another power play. It was terrible. It took the Flyers 9 minutes and 20 seconds to get a shot on goal. It's one thing to have your goalie have his first game back in the league with no tune-up games, right? Let's remember that. It's another to have him sit there on the ice for 10 minutes almost without even having to do anything. Tuukka went through a roller coaster of a game, and I think his performance speaks for itself. 4:30 left. Lewington and Pasta to the box. Pasta for interference. Lewington goes. He's going to have a little scrum with McEwen after the play. They're both going to go. So the Flyers will get the power play, but for Pastas, McEwen and Lewington won't be the end of that duo. They're going to go for offsetting roughing calls. And the PK is so good, and we're going to go on to the second with a 2-0 lead. Feel good about it. Second period starts 3 minutes in, and Lewington and McEwen go back at it. This is a heavyweight fight. And I don't really know who started it. I know McEwen won it, but he did. That's his fight all day. But Lewington had some nice shots in there, put up a good fight for a young guy like that. You like to see it from both ends. You really do. That's a trade-off that I'll take. I know we're a little shallow on defensemen right now, but Lewington isn't a guy I really want to see on the ice a lot in this instance. He's trying to make an impression, and I think he did that. Although I question if it's an impression that Cassidy likes, because he really has shied away from having the big, gruff guys in. But I do know that he was glad to bring Lewington up because we had a Sean Vakanainen in, and that's not a lot of size. Add Riley to that. You need Lewington as that third big guy behind McAvoy, who's not that big but plays big, and Carlo, who's kind of big but doesn't play that big. Speaking of Carlo, 6 minutes in, it's a 2-on-1, and Pasta opts to pass to Carlo rather than take the shot. It's a tough puck to handle. Carlo doesn't get all of it, and he misses the net. Pasta, shoot that puck. Buddy. At this point, Pasta's still at 2 goals. Shoot that puck. Please. 30 seconds later, Nosek for interference, and whether you like to call or not, it was a moment with the broadcasting where they were talking about Konechny, and they were talking about how good of a job he did by making sure the refs saw this, selling the call. You just 20 minutes ago were talking negative things about Grizz for selling the call. But this is hey, what a good job by him to make sure it was noticed by the referees. I'm biased. I know I am, but that was blatant and so annoying. First note on the penalty kill. Holy shit, this camera angle is so dumb. It is. Anyway, Atkinson's in front of the net, and he's all alone, slightly to the left of Tuukka, so he's glove side there. And Provorov just whips the puck on net, whips it high. Rask has his glove there. It's going to go right into the basket. Atkinson gets the tip. Perfect tip. Right underneath the glove. It's 2-1. Penalty kill allows one. It's going to happen every now and again. I didn't love our penalty kill in this game midway through. I thought that there was a lot of space for the Flyers. But we know that unit's a really good unit. They make adjustments really well. 9:30 left in the period, and oh, baby. Oh, Coyle. Coyle with a bad turnover and an unaware line change by Carlo leads to a breakaway for Farabee. We're still up by a goal, and Rask shuts the door 5-hole. This is halfway through the second. We're already having a bad second period. We're only up by a goal now. Game-changing save. Couldn't feel good about that long, though. 4:30 later, about 5 minutes left in the period, and McAvoy gets walked. It's a tough play by Farabee. Puck's coming up under his skates from behind. He's able to corral it by kicking the puck into his stick. He pokes the puck around McAvoy as he's taking the zone. McAvoy's not backing up. He just takes a swipe at it, which was a bizarre play to me. McAvoy had a terrible game start to finish. He really did. But this play was awful. This was not Norris Trophy level defense in any stretch of the imagination. So Farabee walks him, goes right around him. And Vach is your 2-on-1 defender. And he can't handle it. Can't take away the passing lane at first. It gets over to Atkinson. Atkinson sends it back to Farabee. He gets a piece. But it bounces around. Gets to Farabee, who has an open net. Rask never has a chance. It's 2-2. The second period, Bruins strike again. 15 seconds later, Smith gets tripped, and the PP looks awful again. It looks so bad, and I know we just scored on it, but we're giving up so many chances the other way, and then Pasta comes into the zone and gets blatantly hooked. A terribly lazy play. So we're getting 48 seconds of 5-on-3. And just like that, it's nice puck movement. It's 5-on-3. You better have nice puck movement. Shot on net. Huge retrieval by Marchand after this shot. He corrals the puck. He whips it back up. That was immense because this goal doesn't happen otherwise. Puck gets moved around some more, ends up on Pasta, who keeps inching closer and closer to the net. He's in the slot and just gets to keep getting closer and closer with every pass that's made. He corrals it, and he fires this on a just recovered Hart after Hart lost his stick in a scrum after making the last save. But he's set again. He's ready, and this goes glove side. And he just beats him. There's a screen in the way. It's 3-2. There's your Hattie. This Bruins team is so fucking fun to watch. But hey, you stop and go, wait, that means we're still on a power play. We scored when it was 5-on-3. You're right. We give up a breakaway the other way, and Rask stones him again. Game-changing save, son. By the way, that's from another bad turnover by McAvoy. Brutal game for the boy. Brutal game. 35 seconds left, and everyone goes at it. Not a bunch of real fights or anything, but everyone just gets into a scrum. It gets a little nasty. Hayes drops the gloves and dives into the scrum. That's a penalty, usually. Really surprised that he actually didn't get called for anything there. Because you're not fighting one guy. You're literally just dropping them and going into a group of people, which we've seen called plenty in the past. I'm not really going to complain about it because I didn't want the refs taking over this game. And if we were going to get a rough one, let's get a rough one. And they allowed some of it. This period, the third period, we go in up 3-2, and it has a couple distinct moments. Or sections, I should say. First 3 minutes, little back and forth. At the 3-minute mark, Rask makes a huge save on a wraparound attempt. Over the next 4 minutes, so from the 3-minute mark to the 7-minute mark, Hart has to play out of his goddamn mind to keep this game within reach for the Flyers. He is making save after save, open nets, close-in shots, just a smattering, a smorgasbord of scoring opportunities. He's stopping them all. Good for the kid. I want to root for Carter Hart to recover from just a terrible couple of years. When he had such high promise. You don't like seeing players fail like that. You just never want them to be good enough to beat your team. That's the line we walk. So I am happy to see him in a loss play more up to his standard. I know this has been a better year for him. Not for the Flyers, but for him. In the next 13 minutes, just about give or take certain areas of it, but the next 13 minutes are awful. We are absolutely on our heels, and we're just trying to survive with this 1-goal lead. There are scoring chances in there for us sprinkled in, but for the most part, not good. And with 8 minutes left, Rask is coming up big for a few minutes in a row here, and Carlo clears the puck over the glass. Penalty kill time. And with 51 seconds left of that penalty kill, which we're doing pretty well on, Goyle, with all the time in the world, also clears it over the glass. So 5-on-3 for 51 seconds, and I'm pretty sure my heart stopped beating at a certain point during this. And then a $1.09 on 5-on-4 again. And we kill both of them, largely because of Tuukka Rask. This was the moment, the portion of the game that reminded me exactly what Rask is capable of. Is he 100% right now? I don't think so, no. But there was one moment, it's going to seem really basic, but they're on the 5-on-4 at this point, I believe. And Van Riemsdyk is parked right in front of Rask all alone. And the puck gets jostled around up in the slot, and a failed shot trickles by Van Riemsdyk into Rask. Fast enough where it could have beat him, but slow enough where it certainly shouldn't have, right? His puck awareness is there. He sees it, stops it, covers it. His positioning, perfect. A lot of that penalty kill, the saves he made, were simply, and this sounds redundant, but he was simply in the way. He wasn't making these fancy saves, stick, block, or glove. He was just in the way. And that's why Tuukka Rask is so good. Because even when he's not playing well, he's in the way. His positioning is brilliant. It's elite. We know that. I don't want to give this guy tons of credit for the win because I don't know if he really deserves all that credit. But I do know he made huge saves near the end. He made franchise-like goalie saves. Hey, we're holding on to a 1-goal lead. I have to stop this puck. And that's what he did. And the simplicity of his game was very much back in my face where I went, wow, none of that seemed too challenging. And then I look at the shot chart and go, oh my God, really? That many in-close chances? That many 30% of the time that goes in the net shots? You got to feel good, man. You got to feel good about his performance. You don't have to think he had a crazy, out-of-this-world elite goaltending performance to say, I'm pretty happy with what he did. Flyers with 3:45 left in the game. Pull Carter Hart. I thought Patrick Waugh was behind the bench. Didn't know what was going on. And for the next 3 minutes and 45 seconds, we survive. It takes us 2 minutes about to get an actual clear that isn't icing, to get fresh legs on. And we don't get a real chance at the net until 6 seconds left when there's a clearance. Marshy gets behind the defense, picks up the puck at a bad angle on the left side, tries to skate into the net, and Cam York comes in. I believe it was York. Just wipes him out. I kind of commend that play. I don't want, you're losing, but it matters to you that puck doesn't go in that net again, and I like that about him. We win 3-2. That's a huge win for me because these games are statistically you're going to lose one eventually, and as long as you continue this streak, I mean, we're slowly catching up to the people ahead of us, not by a lot, but we are also growing our lead against the people below us in the wild card. You know my feelings in the playoffs. Just make it. Just make it. And if Tuukka looks elite and his scoring continues, although it will ebb and flow, no one's going to want to play us. Game notes. Pasta has passed Bobby Orr on the franchise list for all-time power play goals. He now has 75. Bobby Orr had 74. That's pretty neat. Good for him. This was one of the worst McAvoy games I've ever seen. No, that's not true. But it is one of the worst McAvoy games I've seen this season. And I really hope this isn't something's nagging him. And if it is, rest him. As soon as we get a couple defenders back. But rest him. I would way rather lose some games in January than I would in April. I told you I hate the sky cam. I fucking hate it. But the rush, that little 2 minutes where they shut up and let us get as close, the close-in cameras, as close to the action as possible, and just hear the ice and the puck and the players. Love that. I wish we could do that every period for a couple minutes. Really like that. That was cool. And then they also had ads once in a while that took up half the screen and minimized the game a little bit during gameplay. So, that was an insult sandwich. You insult them, you compliment them, you insult them. You're supposed to do the reverse to be a good, leader. No, fuck you. That was awful. The whole broadcast wasn't terrible. And the broadcasters I don't want to be mad at because I think they're doing a solid job for the most part. It's tough when you're doing the national television thing. But the camera angles suck. The direction of their broadcasters I don't love. I feel like they're being pressured to talk the whole time. And it's okay to take a pause every now and again. Or maybe just focus on the game. There's a lack of character, but they're still building this. This is going to take time to build. So I don't want to be too critical. Lastly, Rask. We talked already about him a bunch, but this was a good game. I thought he started a little shaky is the wrong word, but cold, which makes sense because they didn't really get a lot of shots on him, but he didn't look like he was moving very normally. But the longer the game went on, the faster his reactions became, and he always was just so calm and such a rock. Really glad to have him back. Really glad to see he looks healthy. There was definitely a scenario where behind that defense he lets in 5 or 6 goals, and we all just went, Ooh, we rushed that a little bit. All right, guys, that does it for me. Another huge dub, 7 out of 8. We love to see it. Saturday, Predators. Fuck them. Let's do this. Let's keep the train rolling. I'm saying this now because people, they forget things, and I'm going to say it in every video up until the point. Tuesday, there is a game, Tuesday the 18th. It's next Tuesday. That video will not come out until Wednesday night. It is my girlfriend's birthday, and we're celebrating it, and she asked me, hey, could you take a night off? I think that's kind of fair. But I am going to do a review just Wednesday. Also, tomorrow we're doing a fun little unboxing of jerseys. I got 2 jerseys I want to show you guys. One of them is super important and crazy and great, but we're doing a little unboxing video tomorrow. Go Bees!